What's up, YouTube? I'm Chalktopus checking in with some more Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I don't want to say news. Let's go with rumors and quote-unquote leaks. I'm doing air quotes right now, but you can't see it. Because according to Reddit, I'm going to quote Reddit on this one, there was a leak by some French guy, I think at the ESRB, via Snapchat. Now, that just sounds sketchy within itself. I don't know how credible of a source this is, so take it with a grain of salt because, you know, leaks are a dime a dozen, especially with a large game like this and a game that is heavily focused on a very diverse character roster. You know, you're going to see a dozen more leaks probably before the game actually comes out. Now, with that being said, the game comes out in about 6 weeks. Today's October 24th. I think this leak is about a day old or so, and I just saw it for the first time today, and this is the opportunity I had to come make a video on it. So there's only 6 weeks, and this is a very small window, and we're going to eventually, in that 6 weeks, see a leak that is credible and that is real. And, you know, we're going to see what the final roster is, whether Nintendo reveals it or not. Because people get early copies of the game. You know, people have insider information, so it's not completely airtight. But in the last Nintendo Direct, they left off with a character reveal that was Isabelle from Animal Crossing that has her own unique moveset. Now, I do not think that Nintendo would go between now and the release of the game without having one more Final Direct to at least kind of tie up loose ends. I don't want to say they owe it to us, but I do think that they probably want to make a couple more things known. We still don't know what that last mode is, but, you know, if we're being realistic here, it's probably some kind of story mode if it's not a sequel to Subspace Emissary or something of that nature. I think it is some kind of campaign or story mode, and I think a lot of people are, you know, are in agreement with that. Now, like I said, they don't owe us a final direct, but I do think they're going to want to tie up loose ends. They're going to want to at least show off one more character, and I do think we're going to get one more. I don't think Isabelle was the final reveal. And, you know, going by this leak, it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more characters, you know, whether it's a mix of unique characters and Echo Fighters. You know, this leak is showing 7 more. Some that I can believe, some I'm a little skeptical about, and, you know, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm going to have the picture up, and maybe you're already familiar with the leak, so, you know, we can bounce back and forth here down in the comment section, or you can even tweet at me where I'm, you know, pretty actively tweeting about Smash Ultimate. I guess the best thing here would be to go from left to right to kind of talk about the characters, you know, what I think their odds are, movesets, you know, and just, you know, is it possible for these characters to even be in the game? Now, the first one is Shadow, and what we're looking at right now is a completed, and I'm using air quotes again, completed panorama, because we don't even know if this is final. We don't know if this is real. We don't know if this is final, but it is a panorama of all the characters, you know, in that big collage, and it appears there's 7 new figures here. So we'll go through them. We'll talk about their chances. The first one that I've mentioned in past videos, a lot of people want this character in the game. Shadow the Hedgehog from the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, obviously. I do think Shadow has a great chance to be in the game. It's a very easy Echo Fighter, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, but what about his Chaos Control? Well, I don't know, maybe they'll make 1 or 2 moves different, but I do think Shadow is the easiest Echo Fighter to put in the game because, you know, he's just evil Sonic. You know, he's not evil. He's the anti-Sonic, if, you know, I'm using the correct terms. He's an anti-hero. He's not so much a villain, and I'm probably going to get torn apart in the comment section, as I did when I accidentally said Dark Ryu instead of Evil Ryu. I think Shadow's chances are great. I don't know if he necessarily merits a unique moveset, but I don't think it's completely impossible. I think if we were going to get another character from the Sonic franchise that was going to have a unique moveset, it would either have to be Tails or Knuckles. I think Shadow is way too similar to Sonic. I think they can make him a little bit different, but I do think he's going to end up in turn, if he is in the game, he's going to be an Echo Fighter. You know, there's really no other options unless you want to give him a motorcycle like Wario and a gun like in the Shadow of the Hedgehog game. But I don't think they'll go that route. Next up, we have BanjoKazooie, and we're going to go from left to right here. This one I'm a little iffy about, but honestly, with the track record of Nintendo's third-party characters in Smash 4, which, you know, was a game, was probably the best-selling game, or one of the best-selling games on a console that did not sell well at all. You know, now you have a highly anticipated game that's coming out on a console that's been selling like hotcakes since release. You have BanjoKazooie, who is a property of Rare, and I'm just going to say this now, I don't know the exact split or who owns what. I'm assuming that Rare has the rights to BanjoKazooie, being that, you know, the games moving forward have been on the Xbox and the collections. I don't know what the split of rights are, and if you do, feel free to enlighten me in the comment section, but I'm not entirely sure. But I can see Banjo making it into the game for the sole reason that Nintendo's done things like getting Pac-Man in the game, Cloud, Ryu. You know, there's some pretty remarkable Bayonetta third-party characters in here that have made the cut on a lesser console. So a game that's more highly anticipated, or more what's the word I'm looking for? The hype is much greater for Smash Ultimate than it was for Smash 4. So I don't see why it would be impossible, especially since Banjo originated on the N64, and a lot of people associate BanjoKazooie with Nintendo 64. Personally, I've never played a Banjo game. I know I'm missing out here, and it's something that I've been meaning to do, and hopefully, maybe we'll stream it. So, you know, feel free to check me out on Twitch. I'll leave my link in the description below. Who knows, maybe we'll stream BanjoKazooie one day, but definitely going to be streaming this game. But, sorry, went off on a little bit of a tangent there. I can see Banjo making it into the game. You know, it's not as... I mean, technically Shadow is a third-party character as well. I don't know. It's hard to say because it's possible, but, you know, it also seems like... I don't know. And then you have Isaac, who is from the Golden Sun series. And a lot of people have requested that Isaac be in the game. You know, Isaac is, if we're going by the ballot here, and the ballot of characters that people have voted to add to the roster since Smash 4, you know, Isaac was up there. Isaac was probably one of the more requested characters, and I could see it. I mean, I don't know if he'll be in the base roster, but I do think that if we don't see him now, we will see him eventually as DLC. Okay, moving to the right, we have Ken. This one is another easy Echo Fighter, and I know that Ken is not exactly like Ryu. You know, I have played plenty of Street Fighter games in my day, and I'm familiar enough with the Street Fighter series to know that Ken is more Shoryuken-based, and if I'm wrong, let me know. And Ryu is more Hadouken-based, and I don't know. But I know Ken's signature is his Shoryuken, so maybe they'll be a little different, but I don't see how they would be much different. And like I said, it's probably one of the easier Echo Fighters. I think it's the equivalent of Shadow the Sonic, you Ken to Ryu. Then you have Mach Rider, who's on the right, who personally I don't know anything about. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research because, like I said, I don't know anything about Mach Rider. So it's possible, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's impossible. I don't even know who Mach Rider is. I've heard of him, but I don't really know, you know, what game he's from or what his moveset would be. Moving to the right, the character that I am probably most excited for, and this one I think really has a 99.9% chance of making it into the game, is Geno. Now, I also don't know what the split of rights here between Square Enix and Nintendo are, being that Super Mario RPG, also my favorite game of all time, was developed by Square, but was produced by Nintendo on the Super Nintendo, so I don't know who technically owns the rights to Geno. But going back to Smash 4, you know, you had the Mii Fighter Gunner costume, which was Geno. It was his cloak and whatever it was. So I don't see how it would be impossible for Geno to make it into the game. I do think we're going to get him, and I do actually think that's going to be the next big reveal, because if we're following suit of King K. Rool and Ridley and characters that have been highly requested, Gino has been highly requested not only from people and fans of the game and players, but Sakurai has said himself that he's wanted Gino in the game for a long time. So, you know, I'm hoping that that's going to be the big reveal of the next direct. But, you know, we'll just have to wait and see. And that's my most anticipated character. You know, if it happens, then I'm probably going to end up maining Gino, even if he is low tier. I mean, I mained Donkey Kong in the last game, even though he was low tier. But King K. Rool was also a Mii costume in the last game. So, you know, it's 100% possible. And the last character, or characters, I should say, because it looks like it's plural, I know nothing about, kind of like Mach Rider, and I think they're from a game called Rhythm Heaven or some rhythm game, Chorus Kids. I don't know anything about them. They look like something out of The Binding of Isaac or Cyanide and Happiness or something similar. Like I said, I don't know anything about them. I don't know what their moveset would even be. You know, they could potentially end up being the WTF character, which I think we've had in every game for the last couple entries. You know, you've had Wii Fit Trainer, you've had Duck Hunt Dog, you've had Rob. So, you know, I do think they're going to throw in that one character. If they already haven't, I mean, I guess that comes down to, you know, what your perception of a WTF character is. But it could be this one. But like I said, let me know in the comment section below what you think. You know, how viable or credible do you think this is? Eventually, we're going to know, and I will keep you updated as I learn things. But once the game comes out, I'm going to flood the channel with content. So make sure you are subscribed if you are not. I'm going to be streaming the game. Maybe we'll do some viewer battles. We're going to do all kinds of fun stuff. We're going to do guides. We're going to do, you know, different, I don't know, item videos, whatever it may be. I'm going to go balls to the wall with Ultimate when it comes out because I'm really freaking excited for it. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. If you're new, subscribe. Check me out on social media, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and have an awesome day. Peace.